limit of its ability and still find it to have good manners, to have correct behaviour, then it surely must satisfy everybody. What Ford have for 83 is terrific. Simply the best cars that Ford have ever produced in the United States. Pretty remarkable, very impressive.
And Ford has it now.
Jackie's 25-year association with Ford represents one of the longest-running personal service agreements of its type. And it's a relationship of which we're very proud. We featured him in many of our TV commercials. In fact, he's been called, and appropriately I think, an ambassador for the company.
Jackie has long been associated with Rolex watches as a consultant. His involvement with Moet and Chandon is a legacy of the days when he gave the company endless free publicity. He's a frontman for the Gates Company, a leading manufacturer of waterproof footwear. He's also a consultant to the Bridgestone Tire Company and to Jaguar. And he keeps pace with today's Formula One scene by testing and appraising the cars. And he's not always complimentary.
The car was very strange. The era of the designer seems to have appeared, because racing drivers themselves, it would seem, have not a lot of say with regards to the cockpit comforts or refinements. My biggest criticism of the March was the incredible lack of space. For the driver, there was no space, because Adrian Newey, the designer, said it had to be that way, because aerodynamically the car had to be this narrow and this shape. The Paul Ricard racetrack for me was an impressive one to go back to, because I knew it all. I knew the racetrack from years gone by. But what utterly amazed me about the Williams Grand Prix car, above any other that I had driven so far, was the composite carbon fibre brakes. Because it was a circuit that I felt comfortable with, and a circuit with a good surface, I could get in deep under braking. And for the first corner after the pits, arriving at high speed and putting those fully warmed up carbon fibre brakes on, it was as if somebody had put a parachute out behind me. We broke the lap record at Oulton Park. Of course, there hadn't been a competitive Grand Prix car having driven there for many years. It was an old record, but nevertheless, it was quite a thrill to drive it on a very cold and windy February day. It was a thrill to drive. It was nice to feel that much power again.
Jackie has never lost his love of shooting, and his school at Gleneagles in Scotland is among the finest in the world. His biennial celebrity shoot is one of the highlights of the social calendar.
I don't realise that I moved the gun off my shoulder.
That's £100, ladies and gentlemen.
Younger son Mark, aged 23, works in television production.
Listen, I don't know how to tell you this, Mark. I've only got money. 25.
I'll take that.
Right, I owe you £100.
I like the picture of the Queen.
Very good. Very good.
Very good. That's great.
Thank you.
Very good.
Paul, 25, is following in his father's tyre tracks.
No, but later on, you should just go around and have a look at it, even if it means having a walk over there. I have mixed feelings about Paul racing, because on one hand, I know how exciting it is and how stimulating it is and how satisfying it is, and I know all of that. I mean, I've had the best of it. But I'm also not so happy about it, because I'm selfish enough to think that one in the family was more than enough. And I also know the dangers. Now, motor racing is so much safer today than it was when I was racing, and clearly the tracks are better, the cars are safer, the whole picture is clearer in the safety field. But still, you're still doing something that is potentially dangerous. And for Helen and myself and for Mark, that's obviously a cloud that hangs over. And I don't like that. I mean, I'd love him to be a wonderfully successful businessman, tennis player, golf player, anything else than a racing driver. But having said that, I've really given him all the backing I can with regards to creating his own team, and myself being the chairman of it and guiding it and getting deeply involved in it. It's not just a position in the name of letterheads. It's a hands-on involvement, and it's a big responsibility. It's one of the biggest consumers of time that I have today. Your valuable time, and many of you coming a very long way to be here.
The mother of Francois Sauveur said to me once, you know, you can always replace a husband, but you can't replace your son. Which, of course, there is a certain amount of truth in that, because you can always maybe get married again. All my friends have remarried. But your son is something you've created, you've brought up, you've taught them everything you know. But on the other hand, we sent him to university thinking, well, we'll divert him from anything, from racing. He never took any interest until he was 18 or 17 or something like that. And I thought, oh good, we're going to get away with this. So of course he comes out of university and with his degrees in business and international law, still wanting to be a racing driver. So what could we say? But in any case, whatever he'd have decided to do, I would never have stood in his way. At one race I went to look to Jackie, who had never lived through what I've had, because he just did it. And I said to him, how do you feel? And he said, oh, I feel terrible. I said, yeah, so do I. And we never said another word. We just, I took his hand at the time, and he squeezed my hand, and that was enough.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very nice. Thank you.
I wouldn't change my life one iota. My life has been fantastic. I've had the most wonderful, privileged life. I've been excited, I've been stimulated, I've been given opportunities, material benefits, wealth, homes, a family that's very strong and very dear to me, a home which I adore, although I'm not there enough. I suppose only some of the black marks on the racetrack would I change. And that would mean that I would have more friends that were part of that halcyon period.